Man, we got prison riots caught on camera. Let's rock.
This episode, we're breaking down some of the craziest prison riots ever caught on camera. Number one,
Whew.
the New Mexico
Shit.
prison riot. In January of 2020, 9 inmates at the Sandoval County Detention Center unleashed total chaos during a riot. The riot began when 9 inmates refused to go back into their cells, and the CERT team, which stands for the Corrections Emergency Response Team, was mobilized to control the situation. In this bird's eye view, you can see guards backing out of the room as inmates pull their shirts off and wrap them around their face, in a
Y'all
move to
leaving the
try and
room?
shield themselves from the pepper spray.
Y'all
The
scary
guards
as
then
fuck.
begin firing spray into the room through the slot in the door, while inmates try and block it. And then the flashbang. You can see in this video, a
Damn!
corrections officer throw a flashbang through
You
a
sure that was a
slot. Then an
flashbang?
officer covers the door slot with his foot to keep it inside, to block inmates from throwing it back out of the slot. Here you can see the inmates grab
Flashbang.
it.
That was damn near a grenade.
The flashbang goes off and the inmates scatter. After the flashbang, the inmates dump soapy water all over the floor in an attempt to make it slippery when the guards enter. They then throw a
Hey,
trash
they
can at the
bogus
door
for
and
that.
even a microwave. But
Hell
after another
no.
round of flashbangs, officers are finally able to enter the room and subdue the inmates. All in all, it took 15 corrections officers 50 minutes to quell the disturbance. And one of the key orchestrators of the riot was this man, Benito Lopez. Lopez is behind bars for beating an elderly couple in 2006 during a home invasion, and for his role in his friend's murder, who refused to participate in the beatings. Number 2, the Arkansas prison riot. On March 8, 2019, 40 prisoners unleashed complete melee on the Crawford County Detention Center in Arkansas. It all started when prison staff attempted to remove this inmate, Joshua Estes, from his cell. As Estes fought off the staff, guards got more aggressive with him. He then called for other inmates to, quote, pop it off, and all hell broke loose. The unruly prisoners destroyed televisions, lights, ceiling tiles,
That
phones,
boy got
and the
real pull
sprinkler
in that
system, which
motherfucker. He
caused
said, hey, pop this
significant
shit
damage.
off. He having his way in that bitch. Yo,
The
metal,
prison lost
metal.
16 mattresses, had to bring in a plumber, an electrician, and an IT technician to repair the damage. In
Damn.
total, it cost the prison nearly $20,000 worth of repairs. Following the uprising, 5 inmates were charged with inciting a riot, a Class D felony. Number 3, the
Y'all just got an
Arizona
extra
prison
3
riot.
years.
On March 1st, 2018, nearly 600 inmates started a riot at the Arizona State Prison Complex in Yuma. The riot initially started when one inmate attempted to assault officers. The inmate then ran away as officers pursued him on the recreation yard where hundreds of inmates were present. While officers were chasing the original inmate, other inmates spontaneously began attacking the officers, and the entire ordeal quickly turned into chaos. During the 3-hour riot, inmates also set fires, assaulted the other staff members, threw rocks, and broke into the prison's health unit. One Arizona prison inmate was killed, and 26 prison inmates and 11 prison employees ended up being treated for serious injuries. In the chaos, one inmate, Adam Copa, died of a gunshot wound. Throughout his years in prison, Copa was cited for 36 different disciplinary violations, including assault with a
That
weapon,
nigga was
5
caught
physical
in
assaults,
hell.
assault on a staff member, 8 disorderly conduct offenses, and 2 fighting incidents. Number 4, inmates versus guards. Our next video comes out of the southern New Mexico Correctional Facility in Las Cruces, when a gang of 5 inmates ambushed 2 unsuspecting prison guards.
They beat
This
they
happened on
fucking
July
ass.
16,
Y'all seen that?
2019. At the start of the video, the door swings open, and you can see one of the guards square up, ready to fight the inmates charging at him. Then,
Shit,
the
he ain't
inmate
got a
throws
choice.
punch,
He got
sending
his
the guard
ass
back out
stomped
into the
out.
hallway. 4 other inmates quickly bum rush the guard, and the fight is on. The
Whoop this
inmates use the
monkey
guard's
ass.
flashlights and radios as blunt force weapons. The 2 guards are quickly overpowered, and the brutal inmates repeatedly kick and punch the guards while they desperately try to fight back. The fight started when guards attempted to put the pod of prisoners on lockdown for misbehavior, after an inmate verbally harassed a nurse who was giving out medicine to prisoners. But before they could, at least 5 inmates bum rushed the guards into a hallway where the guards received a brutal beatdown for almost 30
Knocking the
seconds.
fuck
At
out.
the end of the video, you can see the inmates drop to their knees and put their hands behind their backs. Off camera, a control officer is pointing a less lethal shotgun and pepper ball grenade at the inmates to stop the attack. Finally, the flashbangs go off, and the rest of the correction staff moves in to lock up the inmates. 2 correctional officers were seriously injured and taken to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
We know who just got
After the
seriously
attack,
injured. He
all
just got
5
his
of the
ass
inmates
whooped.
involved were hit with additional charges, which included attempted murder, aggravated assault on a peace officer, conspiracy to commit aggravated assault on a peace officer, possession of a deadly weapon by a prisoner, kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Number 5. The St. Louis Prison Riot. Our last video comes out of St. Louis, when inmates at a jail rioted to demand better living conditions. The rioting
I'm from
started
Missouri.
when
I know they
inmates
was
on the
acting
3rd
up in
floor of
this
the
bitch.
City Justice Center covered cameras and began setting fires, breaking windows, and throwing things to the ground outside to protest the inhumane conditions at the facility.
Damn!
As the rioting grew and news crews started broadcasting from the outside,
That's a jail though,
reporters
ain't it?
gathered around the building. Many people on the street recorded on their phones and cheered on as the inmates held up signs that read, "Help us," and others chanted, "We want court dates," through the broken windows demanding justice.
Shit, that's just
Detainees at the facility had been complaining about several issues, including a lack of COVID-19 precautions, restrictions that had limited visits, and many having no official court dates for their trials, meaning they were locked up indefinitely. After a few hours, authorities were able to shut down the riot. Fortunately, no inmates escaped during the chaos, but a makeshift rope was dropped from the 3rd floor. No one was seriously injured during the riot.
I'm surprised they ain't try to jump or put some bed sheets or something. You done already got the whip, but I guess you just in jail, so like, you know, them boys was cutting up in Missouri, bro. That shit crazy, boy. Man. Look at that shit, boy. Why the jail ain't got no bars on the window? Why is this glass? Something ain't right with this whole shit.